Bom dia, Interlagos. Bom dia, everyone. We're about to welcome the 2022-2023 Hololive GT3 International Series here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We're here in Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache in Interlagos here for round 5 of the 2022 Hololive GT3, the Hololive 2022-2023 Hololive GT3 International Series. And speaking of Jose Carlos Pache, here is the track bearing his name, the Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache. 4.3 kilometers in length, aka 2.6 miles of racetrack. Hello everyone here, and hello one of our long-time viewers here. Speaking of which, 15 corners in total, from the Santa S to the Ferradura to Venerinia to the Pico de Pato, and then the flat-out left-handers heading into the main straight. 47 laps of racing are to be held here in Interlagos. Target lap time 1 minute 32.864. As we're about maybe only go for 131. We'll just have to wait and see. As we have talked about, the track location, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it's the only South American track in Hololive GT3 this season. Obviously, yeah, we did want to mention it's a legendary venue. Ayrton Senna's won it here multiple times here. A fan favorite, of course, and we do have to mention it's a legendary track. And of course, Carolina Vieira da Silva, driver of the number 96 Oro Kronii Lexus, will have her home race here in Interlagos, so that one will have to pay attention to her to see if she can deliver or not. And anyways, let's look into the championship standing, as we need to mention to you about some few changes on the grid right now. Brooklers, as we have mentioned, have actually conceded his spot in the how do you put this? In the Ceres Fauna Lexus, and gave it to another indie virtual YouTuber, Herapath, in the Ceres Fauna Lexus. So basically, Hera takes over the existing 133 points that Brooklers have earned in the first 4 races of the season. We wish Brooklers the best of his luck on his future endeavors, but for now, Herapath will continue where Brooklers left off in the Ceres Fauna Lexus. And do mention, Carolina da Silva in the Oro Kronii Lexus leads the championship by about 18 points over Cashew, who was the previous winner in Hololive GT3 International. He won at Spa. And also we have Brendan McConley, and of course in that Gaugura Nissan, only 420 points, 60 points behind da Silva. Santo Olivares may want to have something to prove in the Watanabe Honda. And of course, these are the guys in the top 5, including Lex Oryx and the Animal Visa Lexus, the only ID car currently inside the top 5. And here you can just skim around the rest of the driver standings. But whatever the case is, you might want to watch out at Nissan and Hondas, because they might be the force to be reckoned with, just like what we've seen in the Red Bull Ring. And with that out of the way, I also wanted to mention to you that this race will not count towards the individual series, the Hololive English Cup or the Piala Hololive Indonesia, as this is not a home race for any of the Hololive talent as it stands. Anyways, apologies if we saw this weird screen over there, forgot to do the transitions. Anyways, welcome on board everyone to the stream. We hope you're enjoying your time, whatever you're doing, if you're eating, sleeping, or staying on bed, or sitting on the couch, or whatever. Everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm Mama Shadid Reza, and alongside me is Zeke Wimberly, future driver of the number 54 Hakoi Koyori Honda, and of course, Charles Thompson, also in the commentary booth, is also going to be driving the Hoshimachi Suisei Nissan starting next season in the 2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. So both of you, welcome to the streams, and here is the qualifying session. What are your thoughts heading into this session?
It's been quite a bit since we did an international series race, so I'm really looking forward to this treat. We've been doing a lot of Japan series, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Good to know. So Charles, first time in the commentary booth. Fortunately, we are seeing some very beautiful cars here racing here at the moment, and of course, here we see Brendan McConley's number 99 Gaugura Nissan. So I would like to hear your thoughts heading into this qualifying session.
Well, I'm excited to be here, first of all, and I am excited to have this race up.
It's good to know. So we're gonna continue with you, Charles. So Charles, obviously a new driver for the number 41 Hoshimachi Suse Nissan. Obviously, favorite, obviously most likely confirmed to take over from Lorenzo Ricci, previous driver of the Hoshimachi Suse Nissan. What are your thoughts?
So I'm going to be driver for next season, correct?
Next season.
Yeah,
Yeah, good to know that Charles Thompson excited to race in the Japan Series next season, starting in next March, about racing for Hoshimachi Suisse. But for now, let's talk about the present. And the present right now is Carolina Vieira da Silva leading the standings, 18 points over Muhammad Cashew in the Moricali Lexus. Vieira da Silva is going to try to impress her home fans with a good lap in the Interlagos, but already you can see the popular Rene car of what you call Fawaz Mori already trying to make a move down the inside, I think, to the Silva, trying to hinder his opportunity as they go to the center S. So you just need a very good line there, and it looks to me that Fawaz Mori has already cleared the Silva, passing her already before the Red Aposta, which we are at the moment, back straight. Good if you have some straight line speed, but obviously it's a bit different here as they pass through the seat of the Lago, only third gear for the Lexus. And then heading into the next few corners. Yeah, it's quality, but this is Assetto Corsa, so obviously overtakes are going to happen. So unfortunately that's going to be the case. Anyways, heading into the tight and twisty second sector. And into the left-hander, I need to read on what the coordinates are right now. Yeah, the advancement in arena and right now turn 10, Pico de Pato. Just brake as you pass through the Mobile 1 billboards. Take a slow corner, just first gear, and heading into Mergulio. Long left-hander, you can just try to go flat out the 100-meter board. Okay, maybe brake at 75 into Junsao. Heading into the basically the flat-out section here. Turn 13 and into turn 14 here, it's called the Subida do Boxes, and then into Arquibancadas, sorry if I botched the pronunciation, Arquibancadas, Bancadas or whatever, turn 15. Anyways, that's the Silva's lap done, and he currently sits 11th in the standings.
I have very high hopes for the Silva, to a very confident driver. I believe that she has won twice, or at least made it close to winning twice. I know she won once.
Yeah.
I argue fan favorite, just overall very good, well-rounded driver.
Oh yeah, we do want to mention that the Silva have already won the previous race at Mosport, which was the season opener at the Hololive GT3 International Series. Of course, the Silva was the championship, is still the championship leader and has held the championship lead since winning that Mosport race. And before the Spa round, which is round 4, the Silva managed to tie with McConley. Well, McConley managed to tie with the Silva, but with the Silva having better results on countback, the Silva would be the one staying in the championship lead. And of course, with the Silva outscoring McConley at Spa, the Silva managed to basically extend her championship lead. But of course, closing into the Silva is also Muhammad Cashew. So Cashew currently down in 13th, and also Vieira da Silva last place. That's a bit shocking to see.
Sorry. It is very shocking to see, as you said, as generally around at least top 10, usually even more forward. Sorry, I don't know the words, but it's generally just a better placement overall. But here we have Marcelo currently very comfy in second place. Didn't really perform well the last few races, but I guess Marcelo is coming for retribution right now. I believe that is a very comfortable second place that he has right now. It's gonna be kind of smooth sailing.
Yeah, Marcelo qualifying very solidly on the front row there, only 6/10 of a second behind Jeremy Asim, who is currently in the sitting in provisional pole for this race here in Interlagos, obviously representing Mai and Nanis. And for all the tacos watching, they should be very excited to see Asim finally being up there. Of course, he was up there in Road America, but crashed out on the final stages of the race, unfortunately. Asim might have a very good chance and a very good car heading into basically this race. And of course, welcome on board, everyone. We are seeing a massive influx of viewers, so feel free to ask questions and feel free to share your thoughts in the chat box about Hololive GT3 as Mercer Liddell. Let's see if he can improve his lap time. Charles, what do you make of this situation? Charles is not responding much, but don't worry. I mean, for anyone for starting out on commentary, it's gonna be very shocking to try to think of your own words. But for now, let's talk about who's qualifying on the front, who's qualifying mid-pack, and who's qualifying at the back relative to their places in the standings. Marion Morris as well. Marion Morris hasn't been performing much the previous round at Spa. Well, he actually didn't even make the first corner at Spa. Obviously, has suspension issues at the start. So Marion Morris qualifying 18th, that's not going to do him any favors representing KFP.
Morris was one of the top drivers. For now, it just seems like it's a more of an underdog race going on right now, as I'm seeing multiple drivers that kind of perform a little bit not to their best abilities, I believe, just start dominating now. What a sight to see.
And also we want to mention to you this as well. We do want to mention that we're about to see we're literally seeing a deja vu to what happened at the Red Bull Ring. Now, if you remember what happened in the Red Bull Ring, the Lexus cars are basically the car manufacturer that's lagging behind the top dogs, the Nissans and Hondas. And obviously, you can see here, Harapaf is already, if you can see here, 4/10 slower than Emerson Kurt, who is the slowest Nissan/Honda driver in qualifying at the moment, and a full 2 seconds slower than Jeremy Asim in that Nissan. So obviously, the Lexus cars are going to definitely hope for luck heading into the race. Well, it did happen in the Red Bull Ring, of course, with crashes in the Red Bull Ring round, basically curtailing some of the guys' options and giving the Lexus cars a lot of breathing room. Charles. Well, Charles is still not here, so we're just gonna try to fill in as much as we can. Obviously, the other storyline that we need to talk about here is Hanaori Miyuki finally showing her potential. Now, we do mention that she is a well-talented VTuber on the rise here, and she wants to make it big in Hololive. So, obviously, wanting to basically show her talent here, she will want to try to quote-unquote represent herself on the racetrack for Kobo Kanairu. And we do want to mention that Interlagos is very similar to the Red Bull Ring. Of course, you have long straights and fast corners, basically enveloping the entire track, which should suddenly benefit the Nissans and Hondas the most, and not benefit the Lexus cars. So that is a bit of a story. But anyways, back to Hanaori Miyuki, talented VTuber on the rise to join Hololive. Obviously, she's still not ready yet, so she needs some time to hone. So Miyuki, in basically trying to use that time to showcase her skills, would want to represent herself in quote-unquote driving Hanaori Miyuki Nissan. Sorry, the Kobo Kanairu Nissan. Obviously, Kobo Kanairu is an Oshi. And also, if you guys haven't pointed this out, this is actually an AI racing series. So obviously, I wanted to share with you, if I haven't shared with you yet, and actually I've shared with you this multiple times already in the threads and the pinned comments that I've shown. It's an AI-based racing series. So obviously there's no real drivers in the cars. It's basically marble racing, and Hanaori Miyuki just so happens to pick the Kobo Kanairu car to bring home a good result. So obviously, Miyuki. What?
What just happened?
Yeah, we just want to talk about some few drivers qualifying inside very good positions and right now. And I actually wanted to point out that we're still currently live and all that stuff. So obviously, apologies if there have been a slight disconnect. Apparently, we were disconnected from Wi-Fi. So whatever the case is, hopefully we're not missing out on too much. So back into the top two right now. Adak-RMS is now currently second, obviously beating Mercedes to start on the front row. How about that?
Really not that bad. Third is still an excellent position to be in at this moment, especially if you're not even scoring points. Because if you haven't scored points, well, I think everyone scored points, but so that's not the point. You need all the points you can right now. So even if it's not like completely in the front row, you still have a very comfortable spot.
Oh yeah, we also wanted to mention to you special fire suits for V-Singers. Now you can see here the designs of the fire suits for Adak-RMS with that black, pink, and red design. Obviously, these are to reflect the V-Singers that are currently in Hololive, ASCII and ASCII and Iris. Obviously, these two are labeled as V-Singers, and since ASCII is running a black base idle uniform, so that means Iris should be able to follow the same, assuming she has her idle uniform. So both Tacos LED in the Japan series and Adak-RMS in the International series should be running black colored Nissans with dark fire suits to complement their respective Oshizu's idle uniform. So yeah, again, apologies if we have suddenly disconnected. Because got disconnected from the Wi-Fi, so that kind of curtailed parts of the qualifying, but fortunately we aren't missing on anything. As you can see here, Brendan McCauley is now jumped up into the front row.
I'll just take over. Yeah, it seems we just have a bunch of position changes going into the race, which is gonna be a joy to watch. And as we get into the final 20 seconds of qualifying, this is gonna be your last lap or two. I don't think there's gonna be much movement coming in, but again, this is Hololive GT3. We got a bunch of unpredictable results going into this place as seen before.
And currently we're looking at Aziz Mosif in that Ayuda Risu Honda, already gaining a few already in his personal best right now. Obviously the Sarawakian native residing in the Borneo Islands, heading into basically the second sector, where he's currently in Pineirinho right now, heading into turn 10. Pico de Pato, which is a corner coming up, slowest corner on Interlagos by far. Good exit there from Wazif, finishing in the second sector. Looks good, looks decent. I think he doesn't lift, so loses 5/10. So not looking good so far from Wazif. Charles. Never mind that. Anyways, this is Wazif finishing his lap. He's currently passing into turn 15, the final corner. Actually, no, he is going to pit. That will be his end of the qualifying session, as the Rob, already having two personal bests on his first and second sectors. He's only a second behind the leaders right now, and only a tenth of a second to Hanori Miyuki, who has just completed her lap. Will the Rob make it inside the top 10 as he takes a slipstream of Lance Oryx in the Anya Belvisa Lexus? The Rob, it doesn't improve. Meanwhile, McCauley pits. Jeremy Asim is about to finish his lap as we're about to transition over into the race. I think that's it. With McCauley pitting in, this would mean that the qualifying session has concluded. And with that out of the way, we have confirmed that Jeremy Asim is your pole sitter. So with Charles not currently in the booth at the moment, Zeke, can I hear your thoughts as we're about to get into the starting grid?
We saw a lot of good driving. We saw a lot of just kind of coming out of nowhere. Again, like I said, it's kind of more of a revenge of the underdogs kind of thing going on right now. And honestly, you can kind of hope one can win right now. And believe I think like the only one really not in the top 5 that isn't an underdog right now is Asm, I believe, at least in terms of point standing. So kudos to Asm, especially for getting pole.
And of course, Jeremy Asm, I believe, has scored pole before. If we want to take a look at the record books, if we look at the records right now, he has not actually scored a pole. Actually, Aziz must have scored the pole in the Road America race. So yeah, first pole position for Jeremy Asm. Congratulations to him, as he only sets a 1:32.878, only just barely broke the lap time target. So obviously, Jeremy Asm currently sitting on pole position in that Indomai and Anis Nissan. The tacos are definitely going to be very excited to see that. Adak-RMS in his best ever qualifying session will start second on the front row. So Nissan front row in the number 16 Iris Nissan, only 4 tenths behind. So Jeremy Asm, very obviously the favorites to win. Brandon McCauley in that Gagura Nissan already a few positions ahead of the Silva, so this will do him very much a lot of favors in the championship prospects. Mercer Lado will also have a very good prospect into this race as he qualifies 4th in the Nanashi Mume Honda. Obviously, Aziz Mazda qualifying 5th in the Hyundai race to Lexus. Santi Olivares is currently 4th in the championship standings. He will start 6th in the Wasamilia Honda. Fawaz Mori in the Popularity Honda will start 7th. Maurice Tremblay in the Muna Hoshinova Honda will start 8th. Jason Fisher in that Bad Fast Crazy Ollie Nissan will start 9th. And also Hanari Miyuki, good job on her on qualifying inside the top 10. Well, it's not really her inside the top 10, it's basically an AI inside the top 10. Anyways, Hanari Miyuki, qualifying start inside the top 10. Good job for her. Don de Rob, basically it's the only Dutch driver in Hololive GT3 so far. Coincidentally, the Dutch and the US are battling each other in the World Cup group stage, as we're saying is right now. De Rob is in 11th place in the Hakos Bales Nissan. Kate Garcia 12th in the Vestazera Nissan. And obviously Emerson Kurt, last of the non-Lexus runners, who is currently qualified 13th in the Ironio 15 Nissan. Mohamed Cashew, first Lexus driver, will start 14th in the Calliope Nissan. And then in the Takashi Kira Lexus, it would be Mariam Morris in 15th. Hera Pathfinder, first Hololive GT3 start, will start 16th. Lance Org 17th in the Anya Melfissa Lexus. In the Cadillac Kovalska Lexus, Monica Shalage will start 18th. And Carolina Villarreal da Silva, championship leader, starts well below in 19th. So that is one that we need to pay attention to. With the championship leader down in 19th, and basically the drivers behind the Silva in the standings up front, it's going to be very interesting to see the dynamics of the drivers as we're about to take the green flag. We're gonna need to be a bit dynamic here. Apology if we see some of the awkward looks here. Anyways, we're about to see Jeremy Asm take the start here in Interlagos. Here we have the 5 red lights on here in Hololive GT3 is about to have the start here. Mazzy is in second as well, as we have the very wheel spinny start for all of the drivers here. You can see Jeremy Asm having a very stonking start here. Mazzy is about to lose out to McCauley heading into turn 1. Oh, a lot of drivers easing into the center S and heading into the Red Aposta. And as you can see here, Lado already stealing 3rd place from Brendan McCauley. Olivares and Wazim going side by side for position here. A lot of movement heading into the Cida del Lago. Santi Olivares, this is not the time for onboard, but whatever. And as you see here on board, Mercedes in the number 61 Nanashi Mume Honda. As you can see here, Olivares is now up to 4th place, already overtakes McCauley. So it's Jeremy Asm holding on to the race lead. Mazzy in 2nd, Lado 3rd, Olivares 4th, McCauley 5th, Wazib 6th, Trombley 7th, Mori 8th, Miyuki 9th, and Cashew, making use of that good traction of the Nissan on the start, manages to get up to 10th.
It's usually like this during the start, and it seems Asset and Mazzy managed to kind of get away from all of this craziness a little bit, and it's gonna hold it for a little bit. I believe we still have battles going on in the back right now between Aurochs and the Silva.
Yes,
so the Silva
continue.
The Silva seems to just be overtaking, at least here in the early game. Currently jumped up, I believe, 3 places. which it's going to be very interesting to see the development that's going to go on for the Silva, if they can manage to get into like the top 10 or not.
And right now we're about to pass over into lap 2 of this race. We're seeing more side-by-side battle between Emerson Kurt and Marion Morris. Marion Morris having a stalking start with the Takanashi Kiara Lexus, but Marion Morris is going to fight back, heading into the center as we've started lap 2. Marion Morris is still holding steady.
Welcome back.
Okay. Yeah, apologies here as we have slightly disconnected. Again, the Wi-Fi issues are not playing to our favors here at the moment. Apologies if we have been disconnected for a second time. We just managed to get this race back underway. Unfortunately, I paused the race just a bit so that no one would miss a thing. Anyways, we're going to be taking a look into some of the next battles that we are going to pay attention to. Mazzy already a second behind Jeremy Assam. Assam showing everyone the class of the field right now in my Nissan.
I'm sorry. Today is just not the best for technical difficulties, and at least for me, I can't really see anything right now.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna need to reopen the projector. So here it is. The screen is back on. What do you see so far? Jeremy Assam with the fastest lap.
Alright, yeah, Assam just absolutely dominating right now. Very comfortable first place. For right now, and again, we apologize for technical difficulties. It usually doesn't go like this. Not the best
meanwhile, yeah, we apologize for technical difficulties as well, as Lens Ores overtakes Harapaf for 17th place. Harapaf has now dropped down to 18th. Not the best race that she has had so far, and we have confirmation that Charles Thompson have already left the commentary booth for a reason. We won't disclose the reason much, but as of right now, the race is still on right now. We are currently lap 3 in this race, and currently Jeremy Assam leads Aaron Mazzy by 1.4 seconds, and another 1.5 seconds back is Marcelo in third in an Anashimume Honda.
Like I said, it just seems the 1 and 2, and I think 3 right now. So Assam, Mazzy, and Lado managed to escape all the pandemonium going on within the what's back of them. So it's pretty comfy right now, but I believe Olivares is slowly starting to gain on Lado a little bit.
Oh well, right, yes, we are actually right a bit, because you can see here Santi Olivares, his gap has dropped down to 9/10 of a second, and as you can see here, Olivares catching up with Jeremy Assam still having that fastest lap in that Ananis Nissan. 1:33.169 for Assam, that previous lap, fastest lap of the race so far. Assam looking to be the clear favorites to win this race.
Yeah, it's probably, they probably are too, because they're not gonna, it's gonna be smooth sailing, and I don't think lap cars are gonna play a role here in this race. So Assam is gonna be very comfortable in first place, at least until Assam has to hit.
Well, obviously, I will want to correct you on this one. Due to the race's long nature, well, longer nature than usual, and of course, the track being quite short, lap cars will definitely play a role, especially in this second sector and third sectors, where it's apparently quite difficult to overtake. As the focus in this part of the section, in this part of the track, is to basically just stay close to the driver in front of you and close the gap as much as you can on the final sector so that you can line up a move on the first sector. So, yeah, we're looking at the Pavolia Renault Honda. They're currently driven by Fawaz Mori. Fawaz Mori currently in 7th place. This is currently only his second Hololive GT3 start. So, currently holding on to 7. But meanwhile, we do want to mention that the gap in the top 3 have opened up. It was a second, then it was 1.5 seconds, then it was 1.8 seconds, and now approaching 2 seconds. And Santi Olivares isn't even catching Marcelo at all this lap. He's actually dropping out just a bit.
Yeah, it just seems Assam is absolutely dominating the track right now, and everyone is starting to lose touch to everyone. It's going to be a very spread out front field, which means there isn't going to be as many battles as usual unless they manage to catch up. But for now, it's going to be very kind of lag. Oh, speaking of battles, we have Emerson Kerr and Don Durant.
Don Rob currently representing the Netherlands right now, and Hakkels Bells, and is currently back into 13th place, trying to defend from Emerson Kerr in the Irani 050 Nissan. The Yofi Nissan is going to fight back against the Bay Nissan, heading into the Lago. Emerson Kerr trying to hold on to the inside, but will the Rob have anything to say about it? The answer is no. He gets shuffled back out. It's Emerson Kerr holding on to 13th place.
Red versus green, but yeah, I'm pretty sure down the route might make another room move real soon. But for now, that dream will just have to be okay. Oh, okay, we got McConnelly and Mozif now currently battling out for position right now for the 5th place. It seems that it might be a bit over right now because Mozif had just lost his position. McConnelly now in 5th place. Actually, I think McConnelly was already.
Yeah, he basically, I believe, struggled at the exit of turn 9, heading into Bicopidepato. McConnelly actually did a very optimistic dive bomb down the inside into turn 10, which is Bicopidepato, Duck's Peak. So McConnelly, but really doing himself a lot of favors to basically steal a lot of points away from the Silva and Cashew. Obviously, the guys were in 1-2 in the championship standings right now. So, as it stands right now, McConnelly will be leaving this race a championship leader. And meanwhile, we have completed some laps of this race so far. Oh yeah, we want to mention about the liveries as well. There are no official idol uniforms for Holo EN and the Holo ID, so we have to make do with what we have at the moment and rely on concepts. So obviously, yes, we can do better, but I need we need a very concrete and like a full body example of a concept Hololive idol uniform design for Holo EN and Holo ID members. So without that, actually, I cannot properly have a proper design as well. And as you can see here, back onto the racetrack here, Wazit tries to attack McConnelly, but he currently fails to do so. So McConnelly manages to defend 5th.
McConnelly and the Gura Nissan seems like, sorry, is it Nissan? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes, it's a Nissan.
Alright, thank you. I didn't want to seem like an idiot there, but seems to be on the charge right now. It's slowly creeping up on Olivares as of now, and with that, we also have Mazif on McConnelly, so it's going to be probably maybe a trifecta battle going on.
And we can see here Paulus Mori, the first guy to pit. He will be the first to commit to a 2-stop strategy. Watch out for Paulus Mori.
I don't this is like super early to pit first. It's like 6-7 lap right now. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's currently a bit weird, but he's currently trying to plan for 2 stops. Basically go aggressive in his middle and final stints so that he can basically get faster lap times while everyone else is stuck in traffic. Speaking of traffic right now, Olivares, McConnelly, and Moazib are currently embroiled in their own battles. Watch out for Aziz Moazib as he may want to make a move into turn 8 and turn 9. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, as you can see here, there was some off-wide action from McConnelly there. Almost opens the door for Moazif. And overall, Moazif was not close enough, so he'll have to make do. And back onto the topic about the current car designs right now. There are no official ID uniforms for Holo EN and ID members. So remember, we have to make do with what we have right now. So bear in mind here, and we apologize for the current inconvenience.
It's really not that big of an inconvenience. I mean, we still have the race going on. It's all fine and everything, but right now McConnelly currently on the straight right now really dominates on the straights and gets pretty close to Olivares, but I don't think there's going to be an overtake this lap because of the Nissan's very sluggish on the corners.
And you can see here Aziz Moazib really having a good exit off of Curva do Sol. Will he try to get close enough into a move basically into the Cedar del Lago? The answer is no. Aziz Moazib holds on to 4th place. And meanwhile, another battle here between De Silva and Harapaf. Harapaf is now on the inside. heading into the Red Pasta. Path now up to 16. The Silva, the hometown hero, now down to 17th.
It seems that the Silva's conquering only really was a race start, currently losing touch to the drivers behind right now. It's gonna be an uphill battle to really reclaim and gain any positions for the most part.
And looking at the current positions at the moment, the battle for 4th place is still between Olivares, McCauley, and VheEth. And as you can see here, these 3 cars actually performed in day 1 of the Hololive 3rd Festival Link to Your Wish as guest entries. But well, for the 2023 edition, the 4th Festival, they will not be labeled as guests, but will be labeled as full-on performers, so watch out for them. We might be seeing idle outfits in the future, but then as a result, we might have to change car manufacturers if they change idle outfit tops. But whatever the case is, the liveries will be definitive. Anyways, I wouldn't count on that just yet, as we need to take a look into the drivers' lap times. The midfield's currently lap at a 1:35 right now, but let's see what Fawaz Mori ends up. We'll have to wait and see.
I guarantee it's going to be a particularly fast lap time right now. No traffic really, which is the main contributing factor to the lap times, I believe, which is why Asm is getting such good laps. But I can see Fawaz Mori really catching up as the gap between them and Shalage slowly just decreases. He was at like 21 seconds last round, now it's at about 19. So yeah, Mori is definitely catching up.
And speaking of Mori, you can see 133.7 that last lap, and the midfield's currently lapping at a 135. So obviously, with basically the track being very warm there, you can definitely commit to an undercut strategy where you pit earlier and have fresher tires, where everyone else is having older tires and stuck in traffic, so they can gain a position to them by being faster while they haven't pitted just yet. And also, the one thing that boosts the undercut strategy is the track temperatures right now. It's currently 26 degrees ambient temperatures, and the track temps is 34 degrees. So tire warm-up will be extremely quick relative to, let's say, the other races that are scheduled where the track warm-up is basically slower. So the undercut strategy should be the great strategy that we may want to pay attention to. Maybe everyone's sleeping on the strategy, but whatever the case is, Fawaz Mori is one we need to pay attention to. And in regards to the Silva wants to be labeled as a lady with she, her pronouns. So we want to respect her decision to want to be labeled as a she, her. So we'll just go on with that. So the Silva holding on to the 17th place. She's looking good so far, but down in 17th, she needs to do a bit more.
It's just again uphill battle, and I swear the Silva, she's just kind of losing touch, but just everything on the field. And I think Shalage getting real close to the Silva right now, and that gap is only shortening, I believe. So it's gonna be really tough to get positions back up, especially with currently about 2-second gap.
And currently back into the battle for 4th place right now. McCauley is only just keeping tabs of Olivares. You can see here the gaps have opened up to 0.7 of a second. Meanwhile, VheEth having a slightly decent exit there from Junsao. Meanwhile, McCauley catching up to Olivares, but will he be close enough to basically making a dive bomb in the turn 1? The answer is no. Heading into the center S's, McCauley. He's taking it easy right now. Okay, you may continue.
It was very close though. So it's an overtake within the next 2 laps, I'd estimate. Very possible, but for now, we have another battle going on. We have Don the Rob and Muhammad Cashew right now, kind of going on and on right now. But it seems that battle is already kind of over with the Rob, I believe, gaining the position.
So good job there from the Rock there. Obviously, as we're seeing the scores right now, the Netherlands is looking very handily looking to be in a favorite position to win the battle against the United States in the World Cup right now. As it stands, they will make the quarterfinals, and as for the story of Don the Rock, he still has an uphill battle to get himself into the top 10 and into the top 5 for it to be considered a win against some of the US drivers. Meanwhile, the Silva and Shalage battling side by side, exiting basically whether Aposta and the Interlagos. The Silva defending 17 for all she can. She's fighting for national pride in her home race. Let's see how much longer she can defend.
So it kind of seems that the Silva really trying to put up a very good defense right now, but Shalage is still kind of close at about 4/10 of a second. Right now it's gonna be very, very close to see who's gonna pull this off.
Meanwhile, we want to take a look at Jason Fisher. Jason Fisher is only 4/10 of a second between himself and Maurice Tremblay, the driver up in front. Jason Fisher representing Crazioli, and Tremblay representing the Hoshinova Muna. Meanwhile, as we're about to see if there are any battles going forward here, Fisher having a very solid exit there from turn 3, heading into the seat of the Lago. Fisher, will he make a dive bomb down the inside? He's a bit too far back. Will he push Tremblay off? The answer is no. Meanwhile, Vieira da Silva and Shalake is still battling side by side for position. But for how much longer can da Silva hold on to 17th? The answer is not for long, as Shalake manages to pass for 17th.
I think the Silva took just a little bit of curve, and that really just opened up the door for Shalage to perform an overtake right now. Oh, and the Silva is just falling behind right now, and with Mori really on the Silva's tail right now, it's going to be very, very tough, especially because Mori has the fresher tires.
And speaking of Mori, the gap was 20 seconds, basically 3-4 laps ago. Now it's 10 seconds. So Mori 2.5 seconds faster than the midfield. Watch out for him, as he is going to carve his way up into the midfield. And also, due to him pitting early, he might have to pit. He will have to pit again. I know this for sure, due from basically past precedents.
It's gonna be kind of hard to regain those positions, but honestly, it's gonna be a very tough strategy. I think pitting a little bit later would be a little bit be more efficient for an undercut, like around lap 15ish. So at least that way you can fuel and everything. But it's gonna be interesting to really see how Mori really takes this advantage.
And speaking of Mori, he's still closing into Vieira da Silva. Obviously for da Silva, it's not looking good for her, as she is currently in the leader standings. And what's this? Mori pitting again? This is actually pretty odd, because I think he's going to try to actually properly pit for the end. And with that out of the way, with Assam getting into Junsao, this would mean that Mori is going to get lapped. And I have no clue on what's currently in the strategy box for Mori right now, but obviously Mori pitting a second time this early, he might be good until for the end, but for now, this is very good to see.
I think I know what's going on. Mori's gonna be a freaking saboteur. Okay, so essentially what's happening is, at least to me, trying to get lapped right now, trying to just mess up the front row's places, just causing pure chaos. Right now, I could be taking this way out of consideration, but it makes no sense to pit again right after you pitted like a couple laps ago. It's weird. So unless Mori had a problem going on his in his car, it makes no sense to pit again.
And meanwhile, as Moise pits from 6th place, it makes sense to basically pit from where he is right now, because Olivares and McConley are still stuck between each other, and obviously with Moise being stuck behind McConley, he'll have to pit due to him wanting some clean air. Meanwhile, Mori have already got himself back out on track, and the unfortunate part, he has already been lapped by Jeremy Assam, but he is ahead of Aaron Mazzi, so that is one thing that we need to pay attention to. See if he could mess around with Aaron Mazzi to possibly assist Assam in getting the win, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm not sure if it's directly helping Asm. I'm pretty sure Mori just wants to cause as much chaos as possible. I think Mori saw what position he got and went asked for it and just decided to kind of screw around with the leaders right now. But it's going to be really just absolutely a joy to watch what Mori is going to do with what he's trying to do.
Yeah, it gets pretty interesting. It gets pretty wacky, honestly. But meanwhile, we'll be taking a look into some of the other drivers. Harapaf in that Sarasvana Lexus, and you can see here the left side and some parts of the right side have been banked up just a bit from the side-by-side contact he has had in turn 1. Meanwhile, Mori, let's see how much he can catch up to Aziz Mwazif, especially how much he can catch up to the Silva. And as for the current battle at the moment, heading into the second third of this race, as we're about to finish basically 66 kilometers of racing at the moment. Emerson Kurt still stuck behind Kate Garcia in the Vestia Zeta Nissan and Hana Ryuki in the Kobokai Nairo Nissan. Remember, these liveries are provisional and are currently in beta because there are no official idle uniforms, so we'll just have to do what we have at the moment.
Beta testers, but more importantly, I swear Miyuki was not in 8th place, so I think Miyuki managed to get up a couple places, so congrats on Miyuki and Kobo. I'm gonna butcher this so bad.
Yeah, anyways, it's Kobo Kanairu. Oh, meanwhile, you can see here Emerson Kurt tried to really get close there into Hanori Miyuki there. Sorry, Kate Garcia. As you can see here, we're going on board with the locks, basically the lock something. Anyways, Kate Garcia representing Vestia Zeta, trying to defend from Emerson Kurt representing Iron Euro 15. Meanwhile, it's a Nissan train over there. Meanwhile, Aaron Massey pits from second.
Mozzie, I believe, also kind of trying to go for the undercut, and because Mozzie right now currently in third before pitting, it's going to be I believe, going to be pretty easy to regain places. I'd argue Mozzie has a chance to just win the whole thing in general.
Meanwhile, Emerson Kurt is the next driver to peel into the pits, as well as Jason Fisher in the Crazy Ollie Nissan. So basically, the undercut strategy for these three drivers, and they may want to go for undercut and basically go long on the second stint. Let's see if this pays off for them.
With the track temperature and just overall fresher tires, I think it's going to pay off pretty well. Personally, it's going to be really how they deal with traffic, but I believe they definitely have a chance to just make it out.
Yeah, as we're about to take a look into Mori at the moment. Oh, yes, he has to pit like 2 times already, and it's not even halfway. But meanwhile, we'll be taking a look at Mori as he's about to cross the line. Obviously, Mori having to pit 2 times due to certain fuel irregularity from what we're being reported. Meanwhile, Mori is about to cross the line. Lap time 1:33.731, so lap time is similar to what was previously, obviously gaining against the drivers who have yet to pit. And oh yeah, we do want to mention that the tire fall off is actually quite good, and Mori is actually faster than Mercer Lado in second place, so don't count Mori out, because I believe he's going to run this stint out until the end.
I'm not confident in Mori's fuel, so I think he has to pit a 3rd time by the end of the race. And also, Mori is just so far behind, I don't think that he can really just catch up to Lado. I think the best Mori can get is maybe 8th place or so.
But that is if all the stars align, even for Mori, and meanwhile McCollum is really getting closer to Santi Olivares there. Olivares obviously representing Watson Amelia in that Honda, but as you can see McCollum going wide there, heading into basically the tight turn 8, which is called unnamed actually. So meanwhile at Pinarino, exiting Pinarino, heading into Pico de Pato, you can see here the Honda have a very good advantage in the corners. You can see here this has really sluggish on that slow corners.
While I have the chance to pull it out, I would just like to notice how Watson Amelia's car has the Among Us sponsorship on it, and that's something I will point out basically constantly. But yeah, it seems that Garcia really on Miyuki's tail right now. It's going to be probably going to be a really good defense from Miyuki, from what I can predict. But overall, already in 6th place, it's Miyuki's doing pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, we do want to mention that this is actually the final Hololive GT3 race of 2022, because the next race for the Hololive GT3 series will count towards the Hololive English Cup and will be racing in Sandown in the Victoria region of Australia for basically Hakos Bales' home race, as she's slated to be a true blue Aussie from what we're seeing here at the moment. So yeah, this race is the final race of the 2022 portion of the Hololive GT3 Japan series. And as for Fawas Mori, they're trying to gather data for the next race. This could be interesting because Sandown might have some similar characteristics to Interlagos as well. So Mori might actually wanted to get things done as well from this race, so she get as much data as possible heading into the next race. But meanwhile, as for the present right now, we're gonna need to pay attention to it. You can see here, Garcia trying to look at the outside, tried to go for the bold move there against Hanaori Miyuki. Didn't get close enough. Obviously backs off. So Garcia looking for all the opportunities possible to get basically overtake Miyuki for position. So obviously it's a battle between the Holo Hero members, Beshazeta versus Kobo Kanaere, and now the Hakos Bales Nissan is catching up.
Garcia, as kind of reckless of that move was, I still commend it, as it kind of takes guts to do that, even with how you're kind of further than you really should be. So Garcia, I think Garcia has the pace, personally. I think Garcia could definitely take over Miyuki within the time frame, and that would just leave not so fun situation for Miyuki if that does happen.
Yeah, I can see here the car is definitely sliding. We'll get on to you later, actually, Z. As you can see here, heading into Sector 2, Miyuki has been sliding around, basically, with those war tires. Obviously, we are already closing into 20 laps of this race. And you can see here, Miyuki, obviously, sliding around the corner. And we can see here, Mazzy already overtaking the championship leader, VheEth de Silva. Mazzy, obviously representing the Iris, basically representing hope and all that stuff, brings hope to all the aristocrats that he can bring home a good result. Obviously, he has already pitted and has already caught up into basically traffic.
I believe this is quite hopeful, but didn't I believe Mazzy has crashed out like at least twice during the series, if I'm not mistaken, so this is a huge win for the aristocrats.
Well, I can't exactly say that the Iris Nissan has crashed in the first 4 rounds. Well, what I do know for sure...
Not all of them. Not all of them, but I think it was like at least like 1 or 2.
Yeah, if you want to recap what happened, as you can see here, championship race leaders, Jeremy Assa and Brendan McCauley making the moves into the pit, and Fawas Mori, though, pitting for the 3rd time. So they have confirmed that there is a problem in that Pavilion Rene Honda. So not looking good there for Fawas Mori there. He has to pit for a 3rd time. He has to check if everything is okay in the car. He has reported that there happened a bit of a misfire in the car, and they were trying to check it out and see if the engine can be fired back in, and now the engine's back in, and he's currently down in last place. So for Fawas Mori, very unlucky for him.
And Mori's pit crew just must not be the greatest right now, but it's really weird how this is the 3rd time Fawas Mori has pitted, and it's not even like halfway through the race. Also, we're kind of lagging a little bit.
Yeah, sorry for the slight lag. Meanwhile, Aaron Mazzy makes a move down the inside, heading into basically the infield section of Interlagos. And as you can see, Aaron Mazzy went up to 12th place. And for, like we mentioned there was a misfire for Paul's Mori, so obviously he has to come into pit again. The first pit stop was was on schedule, I believe, but the second and third ones are slightly off schedule, as we have been reported that he has some kind of engine problem for Paul's Mori. But right now he's okay at the moment. It's like Lewis Hamilton in 2007 at Interlagos, basically with the engine being shut. Meanwhile, Marcelo pits from the race lead, and Olivares now holds on to the race lead.
Yeah, Maury, I just think that's slightly more than slightly off schedule. We're way off the schedule right now here in Interlagos, but it's kind of it's kind of a chaotic race. And here we have let's see if I can read this. I can't. Sorry, I just can't.
Meanwhile, RMS tries making the pass on to Harapaf. Harapaf tries to go down the inside to see if she can mount the challenge on RMS. The answer might be yes, but RMS holds on into the position with those fresher tires and better grip alongside the heavy amount of horsepower. Oh yeah, Honda with an engine problem. Remember McLaren? That happened. Meanwhile, will he make a move down the inside? The answer might be yes for RMS. As Marcelo exits ahead of Lance Oryx. So Marcelo acing the overcut strategy, actually pit later than RMS because RMS was stuck in traffic. So obviously currently it is a tight battle between RMS and Lance Oryx. Lance Oryx has yet to pit. Meanwhile, RMS and Marcelo have already pitted. Let's see if RMS can basically dive on down the inside into Pico de Pato. Let's see. No, he currently holds on to 11th place right now.
I don't think an attack is happening this lap, but while I am at it, we have like a ton of first place contenders right now, and it all really depends on if their driving skills are good enough. For example, we have Azam, we have Mazi, we have plenty of excellent drivers in contention for the title of winner of Interlagos today.
Yes, right now RMS really lighting up a move onto Lance Oryx probably this time, and now Mazzy has himself clear with Oryx, but the damage had already been done. Lado with an overcut strategy pitting later than RMS because RMS was unfortunately caught up in traffic. So Marcelo gains a position over RMS as Kashi and Vera da Silva finally pit for tires and fuel.
It's not much hope going for the back row right now. They're basically out of head of contention unless something incredibly unfortunate happens coincidentally, like a pile-up, crash, etc. It's especially just the race leaders in general. They're just not having a good race today.
And meanwhile, Aziz Moazev looking for an opportunity to pass Monica Shalagi. Obviously, he has a top 5 car at the moment. He's looking to dispatch the slower cars who have yet to pit to the ones that will try to go for that very long overcut strategy, and that's the Lexus cars. Meanwhile, as for the top 3, they have also yet to pit as well as Kate Garcia and Don DeRob. Don DeRob is currently leading over all of the Americans right now, and as we're saying this at the moment, Netherlands have already passed through into the quarterfinals, already beating the United States, I believe 3-1. But what the case is, the Dutch have made it into the quarterfinals, and the Rob currently leading all the Americans right now. Of course, he has yet to pit. But whatever the case is, it's the Netherlands winning on more than one occasion right now.
3-1. All right. I'm gonna get a little bit. I watched a little bit of football for the World Cup and everything. The U.S. is getting absolutely carried by Pulisic, in my opinion. It's like our football team is just not the greatest.
Complete underdogs. That's what the case is. What is certain, they made it past into the round of 16. That is commendable by any means of themselves. As a nation that doesn't do much association football, that is quite commendable for the U.S. to hold on to round of 16, defending against the juggernauts like the Dutch. Meanwhile, back into Hololive GT3, Don DeRob is slowly catching up into Kate Garcia in that Vestia Zeta Nissan. Meanwhile, Aram in that Iris Nissan still holding on to whatever he has at the moment. He has already caught up to Mercedes, so the battle for a net second place is on. And actually, forgot to mention this out as well. Jeremy Asim has exited ahead of Mercedes and Aram as well, basically preserving his race lead. And speaking of Marion Morris is literally basically have the Fawaz Mori ahead of him, and now you can see here Jeremy Aston making the pass on Marion Morris down the inside into the Santa S's. Remember, Aston has pitted for fuel and tires, and Marion Morris having the better grip on the Lexus overall, but has the worn out tires. Let's see if Marion Morris can hold on around the outside. The answer will be no, as Jeremy Aston takes 6th place.
I was going to commentate on that battle there, but currently we have another one between Harapaf and Aziz Mazov. Right now it's kind of like a side-by-side right now, but I think Harapaf has the inside line right now, but it just can't handle the straights. And then we have another one, and it's like a slight, that goes to Mazov. That really just shows you the straight line speed of the descent. Now back to what I was saying, I was just wondering how Morris, I think was like qualified 18th, currently now in 7th, if I'm not mistaken. So even if they lost that battle between Azam, which I think might be restarted, it's commendable how Morris managed to get all the way in 7th despite starting in the back.
But remember, he has yet to pit, and he currently has worn tires, and we have passed the halfway point. We only have less than 23 laps to go on this race here in Interlagos. Meanwhile, Maurice Tremblay, the next driver to pit from basically the top of the field right now, as the Rob basically have kind of cleared Fawaz Mori. And now Fawaz Mori, we did mention lap cars getting in the way of some of the certain battles here at the moment. Fawaz Mori going side by side with Don the Rob, basically unlapping himself against the Rob, and this will mean that he's under pressure from Jeremy Asim. Yes, you are actually right. He might be having some gremlins at the moment in his electronics, but he is playing a part on trying to basically mix up the field at the moment.
Yeah, it's I guess I think that was unintentional because again, fuel and everything. Oh, never mind. Tremblay and Kirk currently fighting right now, but I couldn't really get any coverage on that personally. But back to what I was originally trying to say, Mori, I think it was unintentional saboteuring, and now they just realized that it's not gonna work. Not a chance of like title contention, so now just kind of sabotaging. And it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny indeed.
We had a slight battle between Cashew and Garcia, of which Cashew passed Garcia with flying colors. Currently now far ahead of Garcia.
And right now we do want to mention that Kate Garcia has already pitted as well. Mama Cashew have already pitted also, but he is currently at the back. So obviously that will be one thing. And here it is, Hanari Miyuki leading her first Hololive GT3 laps. How about that for a young upstart virtual YouTuber making her second start in Hololive GT3?
I don't mean to be the party crasher, but I believe Miyuki hasn't pitted yet. So it's going to be kind of a short victory, but a victory nonetheless.
And as you can see here, I believe the gap between Miyuki and Mori right now is only 4 seconds and actually Fawaz Mori actually holding up to Jeremy Aston quite well. Yes, he doesn't have the position right now, but he at least is showing similar pace to the race leaders. Meanwhile, Brendan McCauley side by side with Harapaf once again. Shark versus Nature. We did mention this on Twitter multiple times, and it's now Shark winning against Nature, Gagura prevailing against Sarasvana, Brendan McCauley up to 8th place over Harapaf.
It seems we had the aquatic versus the terrestrial right now, and it seems the aquatic won 70% of the Earth, by the way. But it's was a very short battle, but McCauley managed to, I believe, defend, if I'm not mistaken, 8th place.
Oh yeah, I actually wanted to clarify another few things here. Also, if everyone hasn't known, every Hololive GT3 participant is basically an AI actually. This is to help with inclusion for everyone to participate in Hololive GT3, because let's be real, not everyone has the same racing equipment, but everyone here wants to represent the Hololive members regardless. And you can see here Hanori Miyuki peels in into the pits, or rather the AI of Hanori Miyuki peels in into the pits, as well as Mary Morris, or rather the AI of Marian Morris, peeling it into the pits. Remember, everyone here is an AI, and we all treat this as a Marlboro race anyways, basically simulating a motor race, because we want the inclusivity of everyone here, because remember, not everyone has sim racing equipment, not everyone has the hardware, but we want to make it as inclusive as possible. So inclusive with our inclusivity as the goal, that's why we see AI racing instead of actual drivers racing. It's because obviously, yeah, we just want to make it accessible to everyone, so that the everyday man can join in a Hollow GT3 race and basically represent themselves in this way. Meanwhile, Marcelo side by side with Don the Rock. Let's see who's gonna win this one.
Seems Lido has a slight edge, and I believe the inner line, and it seems that Lido might have taken over the route right now, but I don't think the route is going to go. But actually, I'm pretty sure the route lost that for now. Anyway, currently in third now, which is still a commendable place. But I don't think Don the Route has pitted yet. But when they do pit, it's going to be not that really bad of a penalty, quote unquote, because currently in third.
Well, remember, it's not actually a great reveal if someone has actually read the basically the introduction thread to Hololive GT3 on my Twitter, and I do mention that it's an AI-based racing series as well. So it's not really a great reveal, but it is a reveal nonetheless. But remember, this is about inclusivity, so that an average Hololive fan could basically be part of something big in Hololive GT3. Whatever the case is, they are representing them well, and let's be honest, it is into great effect as well. Remember that Jason Fisher, representing the Crazy Ollie Nissan, is currently in 6th place at the moment. He had a good result in third place in the Red Bull Ring. Yes, he didn't actually drive the car. Yes, he actually had an AI drive a car for him. And yes, the AI is the one who is actually the one credited for the drive. But he is a Crazy Ollie fan, and obviously he wanted to reciprocate that by participating in Hololive GT3. So whatever the case is, him actually getting a good result got the attention of Crazy Ollie, and Crazy Ollie liked the Hololive GT3 post where we mentioned that Fisher got third, and Fisher was excited that this happened as well. Same goes for some of the Hololive GP members. Like for example, this week we basically revealed the Hakui Koyori Honda to everyone. Obviously, Koyori's idol outfit has been announced, and in about 12 hours since we posted this, Hakui Koyori herself dropped likes on the post, and obviously this would give Zeke Wimberly, which is the current driver of the Hakui Koyori Honda, some excitement, because obviously it is the one he's paying attention for, and it is the one he's representing, and he gets noted. He gets noted for. He gets the attention. So everyone wins in this case. As meanwhile, as you can see here, everyone has already pitted. So let's take a look into the progress charts. Zeke, how can you make this out?
Currently right now, taking a quick glance at it, currently biggest winner right now. We only have about 2 neutrals right now. The only one I'm really paying attention to is Helipath. Currently broke even, started the same. And Asm, who started first place, he's still in first place. Currently in net first place right now. So if everything goes smoothly, Asm should go in first place right now. But I think Asm might have a little bit of lapped traffic right now. I believe that is Fawaz Mori in front of Asm, which is honestly probably one of the toughest pieces of lapped traffic to pass due to the tires and overall skill of the driver.
Yes, that's right. And meanwhile, we want to take a look into Emerson Cook, who have actually caught up to Jason Fisher in that number 13 Crazy Ollie Nissan. And right now, he is getting close. 5 tenths is the gap between Kurt and Fisher. obviously the two Hololive Indonesia drivers duking it out for position. So Emerson Kurt holding on to 7th place while Fisher holds on to 6th. Let's see if Kurt has the good exit for exit of Junsao and into the main straight. And here we are, Emerson Kurt holding on to 7, but will he be close enough? The answer is a slight no, honestly, as we only have 17 laps to go here in Interlagos.
Kurt, I have high hopes for Kurt, honestly. Probably one of my favorites, but not gonna get first, but still a decent position is 7th and should be taking 6th right around soon-ish. Right now, I'd say in a couple laps, they'll be close enough to really have a battle, but for now, it's gonna be a little bit of a stalemate.
But we know what's not a stalemate. Don Dorop gaining positions of multiple other drivers here. As you can see here, the two cars ahead of him are Lexus cars. Takamori in 11th and 12th respectively, and meanwhile Dorop having a very good launch there, exiting Curva do Sol. He's going to try to peel down the inside of Mary Morris in the Takanashi Kiara Lexus. Will he make the move stick? The answer will be yes as it stands, as he pushes Morris off wide. Dorop now up to 12th.
Right there, you just saw kind of the weak power of the Lexus going on over there on the straights, just easily overtaken, absolute sitting duck. But for now, Morris has a chance to take back position while still on the corners, but kind of on a time bomb right now. Has to pass Dorop soon, or Dorop's really just going to start blazing ahead.
But meanwhile, we do want to mention that the Lexus cars are quite at a disadvantage here in Interlagos. It's similar to the Red Bull Ring. One has mentioned, thank you, Dakyun, in the chat box for pointing this out. Because if you remember, the Lexus cars are woefully off the pace at the Red Bull Ring, and we're currently seeing this deja vu here in Interlagos. And as it stands right now, the Rob have cleared Mariam Morris and now has his eyes set on Muhammad Kashi. Remember, if you want to take a look into the tire chart, he has the freshest tires out of anyone so far. So watch out for him as he's gonna try to climb himself up into the top 10 and maybe into the top 5.
I think the Rob has a very, very good chance to pull ahead. Again, freshest tires, but just an overall kind of erratic driving style, like very, very bold and very, very confident driving style from the Rob. He's more likely to gain more positions, and because they just have the fresher tires in general, they can usually negate some of the penalties, quote unquote, of messing up. Just overall very good things, I imagine, for Don the Rock.
And meanwhile, we're about to see if there are any battles left, right, and center. Well, not exactly left, right, and center. As you can see, Wazif already catching up to Mary Morris as well. As you can see here, heading into Bico de Pato. Let's see how much he can close the gap.
Now, Morris, I don't think, can focus on offense as much, because now we have Mazif right on the, well, not exactly on the tail, but still pretty close to Morris right now. It's not going to make a move just yet. Still kind of like back and forth between the gaps, and we might see an overtake really, really soon. Kind of, no, it's not going to be enough. Not close enough. It's gonna on the straight, maybe trying to make a move, and I don't think it's gonna stick. Just barely, kind of.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Yeah, barely. You could barely get the move done. Barely have that move stick. But whatever the case is, he has a second chance here right now. He has the entire Red Aposta to try to get himself to the inside. Meanwhile, there's another battle here between Don Dorop and Muhammad Cashew. Two battles going side by side. Wasif and Dorop on the inside of Cashew and Morris respectively. Dorop now up to 11th. Wasif up to 13th.
I was gonna say, look at the bread side. At least the Takanashi Kiara car and the Morikalayapi car are kind of close to each other, but because of Mazit, that's kind of not happening. So Mazit, I think gonna pass Cashew real close, but I think Cashew might take the offensive real soon. Really just inching closer and closer to Darab. Darab at like slightly faster, I believe, though.
Meanwhile, there's another battle brewing between Emerson Kurt and Jason Fisher there right now. Both of them are currently at a stalemate at the moment, equal lap time at a 135.5, I believe, for Emerson Kurt and Jason Fisher. Meanwhile, as we're about to take a look into some of the other battles here, Muhammad Cashew holding on in 12th place right now. Obviously losing touch most of the other drivers here right now. Maren Moore's now dropped to 14th place. Highest Lexus driver is still Muhammad Cashew, so he will have the best damage limitations that he have. And as for Brendan McCauley will be jubilated to steal the championship lead away from the Silva and Muhammad Cashew as well, as he's currently sitting 4th and he's going to be taking like 130 points. So McCauley, he will be exiting Interlagos as the championship leader heading into Sandown.
Alright, for now I gotta take a break, but for now, yeah, it's just I gotta get a charger. I'll be right back.
Okay, don't worry, Zeke, as we're about to see some of the other battles here. As is Moazif in the Ayuna Risu Honda. Let's see what he can do to catch himself back up into... Oh, it gets pretty interesting here as the Rough have now caught up into Kate Garcia. Kate Garcia holding on to the top 10. Now Aaron Mazzi, he did pit on lap 15 and he's now going to pit again for his scheduled second stop. So Aaron Mazzi holding on to what he is at the moment. Currently pits in 4th place. And meanwhile, for the other drivers here right now, a lot of drivers jostling for position as they, more drivers that are pitting. Jason Fisher and Emerson Kurt. Obviously, they pitted quite early, and they're now serving their scheduled second stop.
Oh my god, my freaking... sorry, each second stop, we got strategies kind of going left, right, center, ish right now. But, we got 2 pitting right now. It's gonna kind of hurt them a little bit. This is where the 2-stop kind of gets a little bit of its flaws during pitting, but they should be able to regain those somewhat easily with the fresher tires they'll get. And right now we have a battle between Mazif and Mazi, the two M's, as I like to call them, but I think we might have a third one joining soon. No, it's too far away for now, and while that's happening, Shalavier's kind of past Kurt and Fisher, while I believe they are still in the pits, so not much there.
And also the Silva
and then
as well.
We have the Silva, kind of an underdog right now this race, just past Fisher. I think Fisher has slightly better tires though, so I think that might be short-lived. And then we have Maury and Azam kind of side by side right now. Really, if Maury can really get ahead of Azam, that could be a huge upset right now, because then Azam would have to pass again, and it seems Maury managed to get the upper hand against Azam, which makes Lado inch even closer to Azam, which this could be a game-winning, game-changing stunt right there.
A game-changing stunt indeed, as you can see here. You did mention that Falls Maury, with all the issues, has basically switched his priorities to basically... Yeah. Hang on. I think you can hear me. Okay, back onto my topic right now. Maury basically had his race undone by having the 3 stops done at once due to a technical issue in his car, and so his race had basically switched priorities right now, as you can see here, with more battles left, right, and center between Aziz Moazif and Aaron Mazzi. Aaron Mazzi with the super fresh tires right now. Aaron Mazzi has the car to steal 10th place from Aziz Moazif, and that will mean that he will get his eyes set on Muhammad Cashew. Meanwhile, Jeremy Assam, back on him, we want to mention that Falls Maury now has his sights set on preventing Jeremy Assam from winning this race and allowing his Honda teammate Mercer Lado in an Anashi Mume car steal a position from Mercer Lado. How about that?
This is the one of the first times I've ever seen real teamwork, especially between car brands. Usually it's kind of a more callous kind of deal with your teammates, but for now this is a rare sight of callous compassion kind of going on right now.
And currently, right now, that Nissan straight line speed is very much impeccable. As you can see here, heading into the Interlagos on lap 36. This is a battle for the race lead. Mori is on the verge of being lapped here in this track. Meanwhile, Lado is still quite close. And meanwhile, Aramazzi is lining up a move into basically 9th place, stealing a position from Wama Cashew. Cashew's now dropped down to 10th. Will Mwazu catch up as well? We'll have to wait and see as Lado really tries to close in with basically, oh, you can see here heading into Pico de Pato, goes around the outside there, I think Marcelado. So they basically Moore's going to try his absolute best to basically give himself an opportunity. Meanwhile, Emerson Kurt tries to line up a pass on Monica Shalage.
They're side by side right now, and I think Shalage has the slight inside line advantage, but again, that changes every turn right now. I think Kurt has the slight upper hand going into this, but Shalage, I think, still trying to put up a fight, but I think it's over right about now. Kurt currently now holds 15th place.
And currently, Jeremy Assam still haven't cleared the Fast Morning, currently in last place right now. Aramazzi trying to go side by side with the Hakos Bells Nissan. Oh, Bayris battle at Pico de Pato, and it's Iris ahead of Hakos Bells for the battle for 8th place. So Hope over Chaos currently in 8th place, as Assam is still stuck behind Fast Mori, and Lado really trying his absolute best to pass the Nissan.
First of all, what an absolute heartbreaker day. But more importantly, however, Lado really I swear that gap just kind of gets like shorter and then gets longer. But I think overall net it's going shorter and shorter, so Lado should be able to make a pass. And right now we have Mazzi and Garcia kind of a bit side by side. Garcia kind of has the inside line right now, but I think Mazzi is gonna pull it off. They're still kind of side by side right now. Gonna be straight speed specifically, which I think Mazzi has more. Yeah, no, Mazzi. But I think Garcia is still trying to put up a fight, right?
Yes, that's right. But it won't be for long, as Mazzi's now still 7th place.
It's just a lot going on right now. We kind of have just the midfield kind of in a little bit of chaos right now, as Mazip and Cashew kind of really just kind of inching closer to each other. Right now, Lado is still behind Aslam right now, which is kind of I was expecting an overtake by now, but I guess not kind of close enough.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, right now they're currently at a 135 there between Asim and Lado, as they're still stuck behind Fawaz Mori. Meanwhile, we're seeing 134 for some of the remaining drivers here right now. We're seeing a 134 from Santi Olivares, 135 for Maurice Trombley, and Hanare Miyuki doing very well there in 6th place. Hanare Miyuki, we'll see where she is at the moment. We'll see what her lap times can entail. 135.269. So he is slowly catching up to Jeremy Asim and Mercer Lado. This could be a 3-horse race. I can see Asim trying to go around the outside, trying to overtake Fawaz Mori, but to no avail. But let's see if Mercer Lado can try to have a say about it. It's Myth versus Council. Basically, the Tenta cult priestess versus the embodiment of civilization.
It's gonna be really, really close, but just couldn't land it, so just kind of backed down a little bit. Mercer Lado, I can tell, just really just quietly waiting for them to really just make a mess up right now for Lado to just pass them right now. It's kind of, I'd argue, a little bit of a kind of uphill battle because of Azum's just pure driving capabilities right now, but they do have a little bit of a crutch off. I was more kind of holding them back a little bit.
And like right now, the best hope is for Lado to catch up on Asim on the corner and on corner exits, because on the straight, Asim will just try to basically steal the lost time back. And as we're seeing Lado trying to catch up to Jeremy Asim, as you can see here, Holotori, yes, Holotori indeed. And as you can see here, Fawaz Mori trying to give Holotori a good showing there by trying to hold up fellow Hololive member, as you can see here. Falls Mori, representative of Rene. Rene is a Peacock team, and Nanashi Mume is Owl team, which is basically the right Marcelo is in at the moment. So Holabirds, Holotori cooperating with each other for basically Marcelo to steal the win from the Ina car. So yeah, you are right. It is a Holotori battle. Good job pointing that out. Meanwhile, Don the Rock holding on to 9th place right now. Chaos is playing a hand on this race right now. And as for Aaron is catching up to Hanori Miyuki as I'm about to take a short break into the toilet.
Alright, while Shazrin's kind of taking a little bit of a bathroom break, I kind of had to take a little bit of a break right now. Mazi currently slowly, I believe, catching up right now, as I can see the little route kind of just slowly. It's gonna be a bit of a uphill battle, especially because they're currently about 3 seconds behind, 3 9/10 of a second. But Mazi could definitely catch up within the coming laps, and I can see that through his lap times going on at the moment right now. And I don't think there's anything else. And of course, with the Lado and Azam battle.
Okay, I am back.
Sorry, Jeremy has it's still kind of going on.
Yeah, there's a battle.
Yeah,
battles are continuing right now, and if we wanted to basically get back on some of the battles right now, it's still a 2-horse race for basically the lead of this race for basically in the final 8 laps right now. Meanwhile, as we're taking a look into the gaps right now, Mazi is slowly catching up to Hanori Miyuki there. So make it take that if you will.
Yeah, it was originally about a 4-second gap, now at about 2 9/10 of a second. But it's very just overall. Mazi does have a chance to gain 1 more position, but they're not going to be able to get 5th place, sadly, because of the pure gap Miyuki has right now with Maurice Tremblay at the moment, because it's about 12 seconds. You can't really do that in about 7-8 laps.
Efficient peeing is what I would call. That's why I have this like past pit stop from the toilet and back, so don't need to worry about that. As you can see here, Aaron Mazi has definitely lost a few positions from the start. He started 2nd, it's now dropped down to 7, but he could be gaining a good amount of positions. As you can see here, he has the freshest tires out of anyone so far, similar to Emerson Kerr and Jason Fisher, so watch out for them as they might be carving their way into the field. And meanwhile, Mercedes is holding on into Jeremy Assam right now, breathing down on that lead, breathing down on that neck as well. So, by the way, yeah, Rainy being to check out the Mume, obviously trying to hold up Jeremy Assam for as much as he can, try to basically give Lado an opening for the Mume car to pass the Ina car for the race lead, but we'll have to wait and see as we only have about 6 laps to go.
The problem with the Lado right now is that the patience a little bit is good. Gotta wait for like an opportune time to attack, but this is just overall, I'd argue, a little bit too patient. We only have about 6 laps left, and although Lado is close, that time slowly dwindles. So a small like drop of water, like all the rain individual, it's small, but eventually it adds up into like puddles.
And currently, we want to pay attention to some of the gaps at the moment who are definitely close back up. Like Santi Olivares catching up into Brendan McConley. Their gap is now only 3/10 of a second. We've seen Amisami battle it out on the Suzuka Invitational race last August. And now Olivares really closing in into Brendan McConley. But will he be close enough? We'll have to wait for this development. You can see here Olivares really getting closer. Having that very solid launch off of Jun Sao. Honda making a move down into the inside of a Nissan into turn 1. So you can see here massive advantage there for the Wasamilia car, and you can see a battle for the final podium positions. Santi Olivares pips Brendan McConley. Olivares steals 3rd place.
It's we have quite a few heartbreak battles going on right now, as it seems instead of love we only have war right now here in the Hololive GT3 Interlagos race right now. But it's interesting development to see all of ours managed to snag third place away from Kronii, who was arguably one of the prime contestants to win.
So we're gonna get the pings ready right now. So, anyways, let's take a look into some of the other battles here at the moment. And yes, RMS have definitely called to Hanori Miyuki. If can Hanori Miyuki defend her 6th place from Aramazi, will have to pay attention to this development. Meanwhile, Olivares is also catching up to Assam and Ledo, so it could be a Honda spoiling another Honda's party. And you can see here, Fawaz Mori have definitely opened the gap between himself and Assam, so he might not be able to do like some holding up moves, but whatever the case is, Ledo is going to have to work his way to get himself back up. Meanwhile, Don Dorop and Aziz Moazib battle it out. As you can see here, Don Dorop tries to make a move, dive bombs down the inside of Moazib. Both of them side by side at Pico de Pato, and now Aziz Moazib trying to continue that side by side battle, but Don Dorop holds on to 9th place.
While I'm at it right now, I think Mori, Fawaz Mori, could attempt to have Jeremy Assam try to overextend a little bit, which could cause an extreme little bit of like either like taking curb or just like maybe even a little bit of damage on both of their cars right now. It's a neat little military tactic, overextending, where you essentially want your enemy to like kind of go like full force, and then you kind of draw back a little. It's a little bit of strategy.
Yes, and currently we're taking a look into Aramazi, really closing in to Hanori Miyuki right now. There is where the next battle will end up. Mazi takes a look for a position, but is too far back. Meanwhile, Santi Olivares have basically caught out to Mercer Ledo. Mercer Ledo does not have the pace anymore, lost the pace there, tries to make a move into Jeremy Assam, but Jeremy Assam is just good. Like, he's the cock of the field right now, and obviously he has lost a win when he was leading the most laps at Road America. This could be redemption day for Jeremy Assam in that number 17, Ninomai and Nanis Nissan.
That is if Ledo doesn't spoil the party right now. But even then, Ledo is losing touch to Assam right now by about 0.3 of a second. Even when Assam is kind of having to deal with lap traffic right now, I think he might have slightly better tires or something, as he still is just managing to get better lap times than Ledo.
Meanwhile, we could be seeing a Nissan and Nissan battle here. Aramazi closing in to Miyuki right now by considerable lengths right now. The gap is closing. Will there be a move down in turn 1? Mazzy dives down the inside on the left-hander of the SNS. Top to bottom. Mazzy over Miyuki. Both of them side by side. Neither are going to give an inch. Miyuki's not going to give an inch to Mazzy. Miyuki's going to make sure Mazzy has to fight for that position. But it looks like Aramazi has this move covered. And Mazzy, will he hold on to 6th place right now? Will he be able to steal 6 from Miyuki? The answer is going to be a resounding yes. Mazzy has 6th place.
It's a very good battle right now. I think it really just came down to the tires, though, as both of them were Nissans right there. And who had the inside line. I think things would have been a little bit different if Miyuki had inside line right there. But for now, Mazzy does take 6th place as of right now, but that could definitely change in the future, at least I can believe.
And speaking of battles here at the moment, Olivares closing into Ledo. Ledo's tires are shot. He said that the tires are basically worn. He cannot find any much grip. And you can see here, Olivares' last lap was 1.2 seconds faster than Mercer Ledo. So Mercer Ledo is no longer going to be able to contest this race win. But I think it's going to be too late. While it's going to be too late for Olivares to challenge Aston for the race win, it will be at least not too late for Olivares to steal 2nd.
This will be a game changer if Olivares could like take Ledo and Asam. This would be an awesome story for Hololive GT3, but I don't think it could happen right now unless Asam really does mess up big time. But for now, I think Olivares is fine with 2nd place.
Olivares might be fine for second at the moment here. As you can see here, we only have over 2 laps to go in this race. We're reaching the closing stages of this battle here. We can see Emerson Kerr and Harapap battling for basically the who gets 2 points and who gets 1. Harapap tries to challenge Emerson Kerr. Harapap has the inside line. She might have the traction in that Lexus, but the Nissan has a straight line speed heading into turn 4, and the Nissan is clear of the Lexus, and so Emerson Kerr steals 14th from Harapap, who is gonna have to settle for the final podium, final points positions.
I mean, points to points for now, and I still remember that tragedy that happened with Bruckler's, where they crashed out. So at least you're getting 1 point instead of none.
And now you're seeing Assetto Olivares diving down the inside of Mercedes on the penultimate lap of this race. Both of them going side by side. It's time. It's the time traveler versus because in the embodiment of civilization. Who is going to edge ahead? Who's going to be the winner? They're all side by side heading into the Interlagos for the second last time here in Interlagos for the second last time in 2022. Olivares has steered clear of Jeremy Asim, but let's see if there's gonna be a last lap pass between Olivares and Asim.
Olivares I think has the slight advantage, at least in terms of tires, but I kind of forgot most of the tire age as of right now. I think Asim has a pretty comfortable first place looking in right now, as now Olivares is at about a 1 second gap, and Lado is currently at about 0.6 of a second and kind of losing touch a little bit. I think this is going to be Olivares' second podium.
Olivares is second unless Jeremy Asim parks it in the final lap of this race. And as you can see here, Olivares might just be able to steal this win from Jeremy Asim, and as far as Mori has to assist another Honda. One Honda falls, another rises, and Fawaz Mori is going to try his best to stay on the lead lap, and he might just be able to do so heading into the final lap of this race. The gap is now dropped down to 9/10 of a second with Assetto Olivares and Jeremy Asim. Who's going to come out on top? We'll have to pay attention to the gaps right now. As you can see here, a lot of lap times gain for Assetto Olivares. The gap's now dropped down to 0.5 of a second.
I see you changed up your usual words. You'll have to wait and see. Yeah. But more importantly, however, Olivares is currently gaining on Asim, but I don't think it's enough unless Mori has something to do with Asim right now, and it's just slowly closing in, looking for just a weak point. I think Asim was starting to get a little bit desperate, I think they tried to press Mori a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Asim has a fair chance at getting first right now, but it's going to be really kind of hard right now, especially with Olivares breathing down Asim's head.
Yeah, to pinpoint on who is going to win in this race, but it looks like Jeremy Asim might have the edge, the nose. He's going to try to finesse the traffic. Well, there's no dive bombs from Assetto Olivares. He thought sensibly to stay in second rather than risk everything for first and lose it all. And right now, Jeremy Asim is on the verge of redeeming himself from the crash he had at Road America. He crashed leading the race at Road America. He couldn't make the checkered flag in the lead lap, but this time will be different. Jeremy Asim representing Nino Mai and Nanes, and for all the Takodachis watching, stand up and clap for Jeremy Asim as he overcomes adversity and redeems himself by winning here in Interlagos.
Asim started pole, managed to finish first. It was just an overall good race. Olivares probably could have overtaken Asim if only Olivares had a tiny few more laps right there. But for now, we still haven't finished. We still have possible battles going on, and while we're at it, we kind of missed one between Fisher and Harapap right now, of which Fisher won that one. Now Harapap is outside the points. Right now, currently sitting 16.
Good eye there, Zeke. As you can see here, Jason Fisher has already overtaken Harapap. Her tires have definitely been shot, and that is her shot at points out of the window. So Harapap having to sell for 16 in her Hololive GT3 debut, but also for Hanori Miyuki. Good job there for her to scored her first points of the season after a lackluster showing in Spa-Francorchamps. Good job for her, finishing 7th.
Overall, it was again good race, and I'm still surprised that the part of the championship leader currently has to settle for like 18th. I was definitely kind of expecting a little bit of a better show, but it's all right. I think that means that the Silva kind of has to give up
The
the
championship lead.
championship lead.
Yes, true. But the MVP here, driver of the day, has to be Foz Mori. Plays the team game on making this race interesting. Good job from him for making this race interesting, as we're about to move this race to a close. Clean race so far. And I also wanted to mention that everyone has finished on the lead lap. So very good stuff from all the drivers to complete all 47 laps in this race. So let's take a look back at the race results. Jeremy Asif wins in Interlagos. Redeemed for redemption for what happened in Road America. So good job for Jeremy Asif winning, bringing home a trophy for Ina and the Takodachi. And then we have Santi Olivares in the Wasamalia Honda, and I believe his best ever result in Hololive GT3 so far. He could be able to win this race if there had been 1 or 2 more laps, but a result's a result. Well, he wouldn't complain. Mercedes, though, has everything to smile about despite losing the chance of a race win. Mercedes, 3rd place in the Nanashima Honda. Best result for the 61 Civilization car, so good job for him. Brendan McConley with that 4th place finish with the Lexus cars basically outside the top 10. He's going to be stealing the championship lead away from the Silva for sure. Morris Trombley was solid run inside 5th as well in that Muna Honda. Aramaz in the Iris Nissan finishes 6th. Hanari Miyuki scores her first top 10 in the Kobokanairu Nissan. K. Garcia in the Zeta Nissan also scores very well in 8th. Don the Rob, just like the Dutch in the World Cup, manages to show that he's got the pace. The Dutch have the power. Finishes 9th, but he wouldn't complain. Aziz Moazif scores a top 10, finishing inside, well, literally 10, so good job for him. And Mohamed Cashew, first Lexus car to finishes 11th. The Takamori finishes 11th and 12th, with the Cali car leading over the Chiara car. The Chiara car is driven by Mary Morris. He finishes 12th. Lance Oryx in the number 12 Anya Melfis Alexis finishes 13th. Emerson Kurt in the number 15 Yofi Nissan finishes 14th. And Jason Fisher caps off the points finishers in that Crazy Ollie Nissan. He finishes 15th. Hera Paff in her Hololive GT3 debut ends up finishing 16th. Not a great debut, but a good debut nonetheless. Monica Shalage in the Kyla Kowalski Alexis finishes 17th. Carolina Vieira de Silva was a non-factor throughout the entire race and would therefore lose out a chance to basically defend her championship lead. And Foz Mori, MVP for this race, manages to hold off Assam and manages to keep himself on the lead lap while giving 2 Honda drivers, his teammates, a chance to attack on the race lead. By the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. And let's move on into the championship standings, exiting round 5 and into round 6. But before that, Z, I want to hear your opinions heading into, well, basically finishing this race and heading into round 6.
Yeah, Maury definitely deserves a small little medal for the saboteur strategy. You gotta be probably one of the first ones I've ever seen in Holo GT3. It was overall something I was not expecting. Usually people try to go for the win, but Fowles Murray decided to go with the team, and that's honestly commendable.
And speaking of commendable, we actually have a bit of a surprise there because it's not actually Brendan McConley who stole the championship lead. Yeah, he stole a position from De Silva, but the actual championship leader, due to Santi Olivares finishing 2nd, Santi Olivares is now your championship leader at 586 points over Brendan McConley in 550 points. So obviously, welcome everyone back into the stream. So yeah, back into
You're kind of lagging out a little bit, yeah. But overall, yeah. Over that position really did make a difference, which is why you should always kind of strive to get those better positions.
Apologies.
Alright.
The microphone just cut off. Meanwhile, Santi Olivares leading in the championship standings right now over 26 points. Actually, no, 36 points over Brendan McConley in the championship standings. So apologies if there's a bit of a slight Wi-Fi cut or a mic cut. But meanwhile, we're back. Anyways, Mama Cashew, Carolina de Silva scoring minimal points there. They will lose their spot in the top 2. Maurice Twombly gets inside the top 5 with that 5th place finish. And Jeremy Assam gets inside 6th place with his win at Interlagos. Lance Oryx in 7th place, doing very solidly as well. Mario Morris in 8th in the Takanashikara Lexus. Aaron Mazzi in the Iris Nissan 9th. Mercedes 10th. K Garcia 11th, as is Maziv 12th, Hanari Miyuki 13th, Emerson Kurt 14th, Jason Fisher 15th, Monica Shalagi 16th, The Rob 17th, Hera Path 18th, and currently sitting last in the championship standings, Fawaz Mori. And with that out of the way, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the stream. This is basically our last Hololive GT3 stream of 2022. Hopefully everyone is going to be enjoying your Christmas later on in the year and a new year that's going to come up. And after the new year on January the 12th, we will be hosting a race in Sandown, basically the home race for Hako's Belt. Of course, Sandown is located in Australia, and we hope to see you guys on that day as we're about to kick off the 2023 portion of Hololive GT3 with a race down under. And with that out of the way, I'd like to thank everyone in the booth. Charles Thompson, yes, he did cut off early, but he did prove to be a wonderful commentator nonetheless. And alongside me is Zeke Wimberly. Very good analysis from him. And I'm Mama Shane Rizzo in the commentary booth, and you've been watching the 2022-2023 Hololive GT3 Japan Series. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.